Well, so far in Fairbanks today, we see lots of cloud cover moving in as low pressure moves in from the western side of the state and pushes through the interior as well as the north slope. So moving through today, you can see a little bit of rain droplets collecting, but that's kind of been off and on today with a little bit of drying up happening as we progress through the afternoon hours. But there is more rain on the way for areas like Fairbanks and especially the interior. So with our weather headlines and another photo of the day from Mary Ellen Fritz, beautiful fireweed, showing that, summer's not over quite just yet, but warmer temperatures are here. We do have low pressure rocking the west. Now that is continuing to roll through both today and tomorrow with just multiple rounds of moisture moving on through, and I'll show you that on our radar later on, but we do have continued wind gusts moving in, and that's another consequence from that low pressure. But high heat is continuing in southeast, so southeast is still enjoying those summer-like temperatures. So as you can see right here, here's some of the rain that we're going to start to see, but then as we move through Sunday, there's just more and more moisture moving on through into Fairbanks and most of the western coast. So areas like Bethel and even Nome are going to continue to collect lots of rainfall, and especially areas in the interior. So over here in South Central, we're collecting just bits of cloud cover. That's why we've seen lots of cloudy skies from today. And what we're expecting to see for tomorrow as well is just rounds of that low pressure kind of pushing on in and lingering in South Central. So with our upper level forecast, you can really see here's this ridge over South Central that's been bringing in those warmer temperatures, even more of a ridge right here in Southeast, continuing to bring the heat advisory. But you'll notice that from Bethel up all the way into the North Slope, we're seeing this airstream and this atmospheric river bringing in lots of that rain and lots of that cloud cover, mostly draped over areas like Bethel, Nome, and Fairbanks, bringing in all of those wind gusts. And that's why we're seeing so much wind and why we're seeing so much rain in those areas as well. So with our expected rainfall, you can see just where that atmospheric river runs through. So in Fairbanks, over 1.5 inches, so that's quite significant. Over in Nome and Bethel, about 1/4 inch or more. But we're going to continue to see how that plays out by tomorrow. Of course, most of those rounds are going to be coming through tomorrow and even progressing into Monday, especially with all those rounds of moisture rolling on through. So make sure that you're keeping an update on your weather in those areas. You see that Fairbanks is pretty much just draped with lots of moisture and all of that rain moving on through. So it's just going to kind of sit over those areas and especially higher elevation regions as well. So if you're in those areas or you're planning on hiking, I wouldn't really suggest it for this weekend in those specific areas. We do have a wind advisory in the interior, and that's also what's not really helping things. So we have gusts of wind from 20 to 30 miles per hour. And down in southeast, we're seeing that heat advisory for temperatures in the high 70s and could reach the low 80s for today. So for southeast, you're seeing those temperatures in the mid to high 70s. Some areas might see up into the 80s for today. The interior continuing to see those temperatures staying pretty cool with lots of rain on the way for tomorrow, and the North Slope also seeing those cooler temperatures with an increase in cloud cover. Now for western Alaska, we're seeing lots of that rain pushing on through, and that's continuing for tomorrow going into Monday, those cooler temperatures in the 50s. The Aleutians not seeing too much of a change, but still some windier gusts in areas like Adak, temperatures staying relatively average for the season, but over in the Kenai and for South Central, we're seeing those temperatures in the 60s with an increase in cloud cover for tomorrow, and areas in Matsu continuing to see very similar conditions. And of course here in Anchorage, that's where we're seeing lots of that cloud cover for today and tomorrow as well. So just keep that on your mind for whenever you're planning any outdoor activities. Just pretty cloudy in that area, but for Fairbanks, don't plan on going outside or making any plans outside for tomorrow. It is going to be pretty rainy, so Michaela, unless you like doing things like that out in the rain, I wouldn't really suggest it. Just lots of rain on the way and windy conditions. So,
Bailey, I'm in denial that fall is on its way. A few weeks ago, I saw some spent fireweed and I was like, oh, it's too early for that. And, I think it's coming up.
I think it is coming up, but that's okay. Just means cozy weather.
You're right. Very cozy. Thank you.